I was speaking with a woman today and it came up that she was given a diagnosis and she was relaying to me her experience of it and the way that this impacted her whole psyche ever since this diagnosis, this label has been given to her. And it's hard to contain my anger at a system, at an individual, at a human who would cast such a spell on another human. This is malpractice. Mal means evil. This is an evil practice to tell someone that something they have going on in their body is bad and scary and degenerative and is only going to get worse. It's evil and it's not true. And these people do not know this map. They do not know the 5 biological laws. They do not understand that when we have tissue changes or certain tests that come up positive for this or that, what it's indicating is adaptation, that the biology is adapting to some type of conflict that person either experienced and resolved, or they're experiencing and running on a track and the conflict isn't fully resolved. And I told her that, Dr. Hammer, if you came into him with these symptoms, he would put his hand on your shoulder and look in your eyes and say, darling, your body is adapting to this unresolved conflict. Let's find the conflict. Let's figure out what happened to you, what shocked you, what caught you off guard, what scared you, what made you feel isolated and alone and totally shocked and stunned in this moment. Your body, your biology is simply responding to that moment, to that thing that happened, to that scary event. Let's talk about it. Let's go back to that moment and figure out what happened and find a solution in your soul. And when you resolve this conflict, your biology will return to normal. This isn't something to be afraid of. I know the symptoms may be scary, may be alarming, but that's only because you believe it means something's wrong with you, that something bad is happening in your body. But the 5th biological law is the knowledge, is the knowing that there is no evil in nature. There's nothing bad in nature. Nature, which your biology is nature, your body is nature, only does what makes sense. And so your body right now, even if you can't understand it yet, is doing something that makes sense in the context of what has happened to you. So darling, what happened? Let's figure it out. Let's connect the dots. And he would bring you this melting sense of calm and relaxation and trust and knowing. And then you talk to him about what happened and you figure out what was the conflict that led your biology into the state of needing to adapt. And that is why it is absolutely criminal that every doctor on the planet currently does not know this knowledge, and that they are telling people out there every day, people are getting diagnosed and labeled with scary diseases, that then these people look up the prognosis and what does this look like, and what does that do? Conflict shock. That leads them into another adaptation and another adaptation. And when we look, and that's why the statistics of medicine are so completely unreliable, and the prognosis for what's going to come next, because it is colored completely by the shock itself of being diagnosed with something. And someone saying, oh, this is going to happen and this is going to happen, and oh, this is degenerative and it's only going to get worse over time. Well, yeah, if that's what you have been told and all of the evidence and all of the information, and again, even the symptom itself can be alarming or scary when you don't understand what's happening. So that is another invitation to everyone watching to learn this for yourself. Learn this knowledge. Understand how your bones adapt, how your muscles adapt, how your teeth adapt, how your skin and your lymphatic system and your colon and all of your organs, all of your parts and pieces. Every part is serving a specific biological function. And you, when there's a symptom in that organ, you need to figure out what happened, what caused this tissue to need to go into hyperdrive, to need to adapt in this way. Find the conflict, find a solution. That's the message, that's the story, that is the German new medicine, Germanische Heilkunde, this Germanic healing knowledge, this wisdom that is your birthright to know. And so I invite you to study, to get into this. Don't just overlook it. Don't just, assume that you understand it. If you're still afraid of sickness, if you're still afraid of symptoms, it's simply the fear will fade in the light of understanding this knowledge.